Hey everyone, the political and media class in this country are chomping at the bit. Boy, are they upset about the fact that we actually have social media platforms to push back against their narrative. I mean, I think about the fact that throughout all of modern history, the hacks at places such as the CBC or those in the established political parties, they always had the ability to dominate the message and the narrative that the Canadian people received as far as how they're represented, or should I say ruled over. Because, I mean, really, at this point in time, you're one of those Canadians that still believe that the ruling establishment, these elitists that now run or comprise the established parties, if you think they actually represent you, well then, if they actually do represent you, then you're a proponent of big government yourself, which makes you the enemy of anyone who functions in the private sector, or those of us who are forced to prop up, pay for, and sustain this massively bureaucratic and corrupt system. I mean, the fact that they've had the ability or the capacity to dominate the narrative, because, between those in academia, those in the media, and those in the political establishment and the ruling elite, like I say, they've had carte blanche capacity and ability to basically spew whatever rhetoric they want to put out there and make it stick. That made them very complacent, very conformist, very unwilling to stand up and oppose the ruling class, and seemingly very inept as well. And those who are complacent and inept, they definitely don't like to be challenged or to see any competition out there, especially when it comes to vying for the minds of the masses. And now you can see that they're fighting back. Headline out of CBC News, Politics, Lobbying Commissioner should investigate Facebook, says MP Angus. Leaked emails show a pattern of flouting Canadian lobbying laws, says New Democrat. This being reported by Elizabeth Thompson, March 4th, 2019. Flaunting lobbying laws. SNC leveling. NDP MP Charlie Angus is calling on Canada's lobbying commissioner to investigate social media giant Facebook after leaked internal company emails revealed the company met with Conservative cabinet ministers but didn't report those meetings to the lobbying commissioner's office. In a letter sent to Commissioner of Lobbying Nancy Bélanger Monday, Angus urged her to look at the larger pattern of avoidance employed by Facebook. My concern with Facebook is that we are seeing the tip of the iceberg in terms of surreptitious, unregistered, high-level contacts with government going back years and spanning two different governments of different partisan stripes, he wrote. I'm even more concerned given the huge economic power of Facebook to have government policies bend to their policy preferences. So far, lots of political rhetoric. Still not seen any smoking gun as of yet. And you would think if they had something to offer, they would have done so already. Manon Dion, spokeswoman for the Lobbying Commissioner's Office, confirmed it has received the letter from Angus. Angus's call for a probe comes after internal company emails originally produced in connection with a U.S. lawsuit were leaked to Computer Weekly and The Guardian Observer in the UK. The documents, which CBC News has not been able to independently verify, describe how Facebook pressured the Conservative Industry Minister, Christian Paradis, to promise Facebook would not be subject to Canadian privacy laws if it set up a data center in Canada. The documents reportedly say Facebook wanted a letter from Paradis assuring it that the government would not claim jurisdiction over non-Canadian data if Facebook built the proposed data center. I mean, think about that already, folks. You know damn well that your relationship with Facebook is wholly 100% voluntary. You don't have to join up or sign up to Facebook, but you do also know that if you do, that yes, they do get to collect and use some of that data that you provide because you get that service for free. That's a trade-off. You make the decision. Once again, it's a completely voluntary relationship and it's reciprocal. You gain some benefits and they gain some benefits. And that whole contract is entered into voluntarily. Unlike as with government. You didn't enter any contract with the NDP or the Liberals or the Conservatives in any voluntary means. Right? Other people get to vote. That's the thing with democracy is other people get to vote your social and economic enslavement and you don't have any say in the matter, right? So this is the thing. Democracy seeks to impose majority or mob rule on the minority. Meanwhile, Facebook says everybody gets equal opportunity and an equal chance to join up to their platform and be afforded the same benefits across the board. Anyways, there's lots of political rhetoric and fear-mongering contained within this article, but I just want to scroll down to a part that I found not just disturbing, but full of very important revelations as well. Crestview Strategy and Aaron O'Toole, who is now a Conservative MP, both reported meeting government officials on behalf of Facebook, but none of the meetings involved cabinet ministers. In an interview with CBC News, Angus said the emails show a pattern of behavior by Facebook executives. I think what's clear is that Facebook has a casual contempt for domestic laws wherever they operate. We really need to have a lobbying investigation into Facebook to see how they manage to skirt the lobbying rules in order to strong-arm government into getting their way. Angus, who serves as Vice Chairman of the House of Commons Access to Information, Privacy and Ethics Committee, said he will propose the committee study the emails and Facebook's actions. They need to respect our laws, and they need to certainly start to come out in the open with the kind of backroom lobbying that they have been getting away with. Dion said the Commissioner's office has not seen the emails and can't confirm whether it has looked into Facebook in the past. She said under the law, the Commissioner can investigate up to 10 years after something is alleged to have occurred. Facebook has not yet responded to questions from CBC News about why its executives didn't report the company's contact with Conservative cabinet ministers. Privacy Commissioner Daniel Therian described the events outlined in the emails as troubling and took issue with Facebook's assertion that it had a duty to protect people's data. So think about it. Facebook said that it had a duty to protect people's data, and this Privacy Commissioner Daniel Therian says that he finds that troubling. Really? I don't think so. Now listen to this part, folks. This was the part that I found most disturbing. This shows disrespect for the rule of law. Facebook does not get to protect its clients' data from the rules democratically adopted by Parliament, he said. It is actually the reverse. Companies like Facebook must obey democratically adopted rules designed to protect the privacy of individuals. So they're saying, Facebook's out there saying, hey, we're protecting the privacy of our users, and it's our business. Like, we'll fail or succeed based on what we do or how we treat our consumers or those who use our platform, right? It's in Facebook's best interest to do the right thing for the people that consume or use their service, obviously. But this government hack, this Canadian government hack is saying, let me say once again, this shows disrespect for the rule of law. Listen, they're using the term rule of law. He's using the term rule of law while he's saying, oh, they're disrespecting my authority. No, you give me what I want, Facebook. Otherwise, we'll come down hard upon you. That's what they're saying here. More veiled threats. Facebook does not get to protect its clients' data from the rules democratically adopted by Parliament. Actually, yes. When I enter into a voluntary contract with a company, yeah, the government doesn't get any fucking right and doesn't have any pretense of authority to intervene in that. That's between me and Facebook. And no, the government and this piece of shit does not have any authority or right, and I don't care how many rules they write down, right? I don't care how many acts of legislation or regulations they try to conjure up as a means to intervene or interfere in my relationship with Facebook. I reject the very premise, the very pretense that they should ever have any right or authority to do so. It is actually the reverse. Companies like Facebook must obey democratically adopted rules designed to protect the privacy. So, to protect the privacy, Facebook saying, we're protecting the privacy of the people on our own platform. But the government saying, no, we're going to do it our way. No, you don't get to do it your way, even though your relationship, like I say, is wholly voluntary. And our relationship is the big, gigantic gun in the room. Because that's what government is. Facebook's not holding a gun to you. Facebook's never held a gun to your head for anything. Your relationship with Facebook is wholly voluntary. The government, 100% force. They force, they impose. That's what legislation, that's what regulations are. They're forcing and imposing their will, their mandates, their edicts on you, whether you like it or not. And you can't opt out of that contract, out of that relationship, right? So basically what this is alluding to is this is just political language disguising genuine or veiled threats towards anyone in social media or these platforms that don't yield or conform to the authoritarian tactics set out by those who now rule over us in Canada. Very disturbing revelations once again, folks. Like I say, look at how much stuff is coming out from the federal Liberals. Wow. I mean, we all know that Trudeau loves the basic dictatorships, such as China, but it seems a lot of his mindless minions or his order followers or his lackeys feel the same way. That should be very disturbing for each and every one of you out there who cares about not just your own personal privacy, but just exactly what role should government play in your life. Well, the sure as shit should never get to the point where they get to dictate and control your social interactions on the internet. or your ability or capacity to speak freely. Yeah, sure, they might have a lot of control over like cable television, cable news, and a lot of the old dinosaur institutions or technology, but we can never let them even attempt to try to take over control, speak freely on these social media platforms. These social mediums are the only thing that we have at our disposal at this particular time to push back against those who want to rule over us. And I love liberty.